Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to our channel, and thanks for logging on. If you enjoy these videos, do me a favor and subscribe to our YouTube channel right here at Watchbox Reviews. I would really appreciate it, and I promise I will update daily. If you like this watch, you can purchase it on our website, thewatchbox.com. Today, we are discussing the Omega Seamaster Planet Ocean GMT. A watch that bowed at Basel 2013. The one you see here features grade 5 titanium composition, a gorgeous blue lacquer dial, and a blue ceramic 24-hour GMT bezel. The watch wears easy on my 16cm circumference wrist. It's thick, as all Planet Oceans are, at 17.5 millimeters thick, but the watch is nicely constrained across the wrist. As you'll find, the lug-to-lug dimension of the watch is a reasonable 49 millimeters for this 43.5 millimeter case. That said, it does stretch its wings when you take the solid end link of the bracelet into account. That produces a 55 millimeter horn-to-horn or link-to-link span across the wrist. Because the watch is so light in grade 5 titanium, I will say you could probably still wear this enormous watch on a wrist as small as 15 centimeters in circumference. I believe you could wear it on a 14.5 centimeter wrist comfortably, but for proportion's sake, you probably don't want to go any smaller than 15 centimeters. It is very comfortable. The nice thing about titanium is that the watch always feels 2 sizes smaller than it really is. Let's give us bit more light right here and bring this into focus. Let's talk about the bracelet because it's a beautiful piece. 3-link design. It's mostly of satin finish with polished outer flanks, big channels on the underside to vent the wrist and avoid pinching skin or pulling hair, all removable links sized with screws, not pins or sleeves. There is a all or nothing pull-out dive extension, and look at this refinement, spring-loaded ceramic pin snaps to maintain the integrity and the tight tolerances of that extension over time. A trigger system for the clasp. You can depress both and open the clasp. If you do not depress both, it will not pop open. Absolute security and solidity. It feels as though it were machined from a single ingot of titanium. The bracelet is grade 5, the case is grade 5, and the case is beautifully executed. Grade 2 is almost impossible to polish up, so you're fortunate that Omega uses grade 5 here. You have the handsome contrast between the polished bevels and the satin finish of the sheer flanks. Present and correct is the helium escape valve for you saturation divers. For everyone else, a fun conversation piece and conversation starter. Grade 5 titanium is wonderful because it gives you the lightness of titanium. It gives you the potential for polished surfaces that doesn't exist on grade 2. And it is, in practice, harder than most steels. 316 steel is used by most watchmakers, is going to be more scratch prone than grade 5 titanium. So you have a watch that is both lighter on the wrist and more scratch resistant. It's also hypoallergenic, so if you have an issue with a latex allergy in rubber or a nickel allergy in steel, this could be the dive watch for you. Truth be told, it's not a pure diver because it features a bidirectional rotating bezel, but it is a hugely water-resistant dual-time watch. 600 meters water-resistant, it's a GMT. So you have the ability to set that independent second time zone with its orange index to Greenwich Mean Time, so set it to GMT, and then you will use the bezel, which moves in both directions, to offset from that hand to find the time at a port or airport upon arrival. So you can temporarily read 3 separate time zones: local time, GMT, and whatever time you might have set at center. That's what the bezel allows you to do. It features a ceramic insert, so it will never scratch or scuff. Just as sapphire will resist almost all marks, so too will a ceramic bezel insert. Now, although it is not a dive bezel, when life and limb are not on the line, you can absolutely line up that luminescent pearl, which is featured for this very reason, with the broad arrow minute hand, and now you have an impromptu timing device. So you can still use it for timing, just don't use it if it's your only timer on a dive. You will note that the dial furniture of this watch wonderfully upscale. The Planet Ocean, like the gray side of the moon, the white side, all of the sides of the moon, a flagship reference within its model family. So white gold hands, white gold Omega logo and marquee, and white gold indices. Beautifully luminescent. There will be a lume shot at the end. The dial base itself is lacquer, and it features a few flourishes of the orange color that is the signature of the Planet Ocean family. Now you have hacking seconds. When you pull the crown, you stop everything. Now you can move all the indications in sync. You'll note that orange index moves once around the dial per day. It's a 24-hour hand for you who may find military time to be useful. This is an ideal timepiece. You also have the ability to drive that local hour hand back and forth, even driving the date back and forth as you cross the international date line. So this is great because it doesn't stop the minutes, it doesn't stop the second time zone, it doesn't even stop the seconds, so it doesn't interrupt the precision or proper timing of the watch. As you travel, this watch travels with you. You will note it doesn't feature conventional crown guards, rather a crown recess that acts as an impact and shear guard for the crown. 600-meter water resistance in spite of the fact that there is a display case back. You will also note that the watch features a handsomely finished Omega caliber 8605. These are made exclusively for Omega by ETA. So let me see how close I can get without losing resolution. Okay, that's good. Now we can really see that for which you are paying. Automatic winding, twin mainspring barrels, 60-hour power reserve, coaxial, and a chronometer. It is very precise. Silicon hairspring for anti-magnetism, full balance bridge, and a free-sprung index for shock resistance. Adjusted in 5 positions, it is a COSC Swiss chronometer, but the coaxial escapement gives it potentially greater precision. Yes, over 24 hours, but also over longer periods, while also reducing the maintenance needs. Bidirectional winding, it features that time zone function you just saw on the opposite side of the watch, a quirky 25,200 vibration per hour beat rate that is specific to the coaxial escapement. And if you want to do a little bit of Googling on the coaxial, it was invented by Dr. George Daniels, an independent watchmaker of repute. Now deceased, he was a pioneer in alternative escapement technology, and it's amazing to think that a mainstream manufacturer like Omega has industrialized this and made it as durable as a Rolex caliber. If Richard Mille or Jaeger-LeCoultre or Grubel-Forsey introduced this technology and Omega never had, we would go nuts over it. The fact that you can get it in an Omega sports watch available for under $100,000 remains amazing, even in the year 2018. Smart, sophisticated, full of features, and even splashed with a measure of color. You can see and own this Planet Ocean GMT on the watch box. And I am back with the Omega Seamaster Planet Ocean GMT. As I mentioned during the lit portion of the video, there is a luminescent pearl on the bezel, so this is not a dive bezel. You can still line up that pearl and easily distinguish it from the remainder of the calibrations and hands. Read it against the minute scale and you can use it as a timer. Not a dive timer, but a timer. See this versatile all-arounder on the watch box.